Who do we have from the Blom family? I see Mr. Blom is present. Who else is present for the Blom family?
Attorney Jessica Data Schultze appearing on behalf of the petitioners at this time. So,
All right.
I'm Christine Greider. I am Ed's eldest daughter and co-guardian and co-conservator.
Thank you.
I'm Betsy McKenna. I'm Ed Blom's daughter.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was advised by the family that the attorney was no longer representing them. That's why I didn't have her on there.
All right. Ms. Data Schultz, who are you representing again?
well, I currently was representing the guardian and conservators in this case, Matthew Blom and his sister. They filed a motion to terminate. We are absolutely prepared to withdraw as counsel. Make a recommendation for MDHHS intervention, but we do have a attorney fees and cost motion that we will need to be submitting for services incurred and yet unpaid.
You're not prepared to do that today, right?
Not this time, Your Honor. No, we will
All
be
right.
shortly. It'll be coming in with. We were just waiting on an updated affidavit from our accounting department.
Okay. All right. Is Catherine Blom present?
She should be shortly, Your Honor.
All right. Well, at this minute, Mr. Blom, I'm going to take some testimony from you. Why don't you raise your hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. I've received a petition to terminate the conservatorship, and I assume that the guardianship is what you're asking for. Can you tell me why you want that? Mr. Blom, can you tell me why you want that?
Yeah. Apparently he's not hearing me.
No, it froze up for a minute, but go ahead now.
Oh, I said they're not doing anything for me here that can't be done for me at home.
Who do you have there that's recommending that you go home?
My wife.
You don't have a wife, you're divorced.
Yeah, right. Well, that'll be recommended as soon as this guardianship thing is settled.
So
We're gonna remarry.
who at the facility there is recommending that you go home?
Nobody,
Then why would I want to send you home?
because that's what I want. Why would I
You
want
wanted to stay home before and you had fell and hurt yourself a number of times and had to go to the hospital.
I fell and hurt myself once, and it's kind of snowballed since then.
Mr. Blom, we went through this about 6 months ago. That's why you're in the place that you're at now. What's changed?
I have no idea.
Neither do I. That's why I'm asking you what's changed. I need to have some reason to move you from where you're at.
Because there's nothing wrong with me now.
What was wrong with you before that got you to where you're at now?
I don't know. I was misrepresented is all I can say.
Other than your ex-wife, is anybody else asking for you to leave the place that you're at now?
No. That
Isn't
should
your
be enough.
ex-wife, isn't your ex-wife the one that didn't take care of you at your house?
No.
That's what seems to me the reason that you had a guardianship to begin with. Anything else that you want to tell me, Mr. Blom?
Yeah, I've got a lot of things I could tell you.
Oh, I'm listening right now.
Well, for one thing, I can't leave the building.
Who said?
The management here. They won't let me go outside.
It's the middle of winter.
I have warm clothes.
Where are you gonna go?
I was going to go to the car waiting in the foyer for me.
Who was gonna pick you up?
My ex-wife,
And where was she gonna take you?
somewhere to eat, and then bring me back here.
Is there someone there right now that will confirm that they wouldn't let you go out to eat?
Yes,
Who's that?
I'm Kim. I'm the social worker here.
Hi, Kim. What can you
Hello.
tell me about his claim?
All I know is that the ex-wife has tried to see him on multiple occasions. I know there's been conversations, about her not being allowed to take him out at this time.
So it's not that he can't go outside, it's that he's not supposed to go with her.
Correct.
All
I
right.
can't go
Mr.
with
Blom?
anybody.
That's not what she said, Mr. Blom. She didn't say you couldn't go outside, you couldn't go places, you just can't go with your ex-wife because she's the one that got you in trouble.
You're making a presumption.
No, I made a decision already. I said your ex-wife wasn't a party to this case, and she's the one that didn't take care of you at your house. That's why you had to go into guardianship care.
She took care of me at my home, our
Not
home.
very well.
Well, she can't help what happens to me if she's not at home at that moment.
She was there and she didn't call anybody to come help you. You had bed sores because you were laying in the chair for so long. You had bruises because you were hurt and she didn't call anybody for any help.
I don't remember having bed sores or bruisers.
Well, I do.
You didn't see them.
I heard about them. I had testimony about them.
Well, testimony and heard about them are different than seeing them.
That's
I
called
was the- I
facts. It's called facts in court, Mr. Blom.
I can't argue with the judge, I guess.
Well, you can, but it's not going to get you very far.
That's my point.
So it sounds like you can go outside and they're not stopping you from going outside. They're just stopping you from going with your ex-wife. So what's your next concern?
Why would they stop me from going with my ex-wife?
I just explained that to you. She was the person that caused you to have to go into guardianship because she didn't care for you well.
Well, I was there and I disagree with your assumption.
You're certainly able to disagree with me, but you asked why, and I just told you why. Anything else that you have a problem with?
Yeah, I don't get any money. I'm supposed to get like $60 put into an account here. And when I went to get some money out of it, they told me the only reason I can only use it to get haircuts with, according to my son. They wouldn't give me any of the money. I haven't had my phone. They took that away from me, supposedly to get it fixed, and I've never seen it since then.
As I understand it, your phone doesn't have a charger. You want to buy a charger for it?
I would if I had the money, but I don't have any money either.
Okay, I'm going to ask them about that in a minute. What else do you have a problem with?
Yeah, my ex-wife Kathy is not allowed to visit me.
We just talked about that. There's a reason for that. Any other issues?
Yeah, my children do not remember me on my birthday or my Father's Day or Christmas, or except for Christina's sent me a Christmas card. Betsy has not visited me since 2014. That was long before I was interred here.
Okay, what does that have to do with whether or not you need a guardian?
Excuse me, I've got to sneeze. Well, maybe a little concern and care for me would indicate that I'm being taken care of. Right now, I'm not being taken care of except here, but I got 3 hots and a cot, and that's it.
Well, they're listening right now. I'm sure they heard what you just said. Any other reasons why you think that the guardianship should be taken off?
Yeah, my kids are taking stuff out of my house without permission. They've sold my car. They've sold my riding lawnmower. They've taken my medals and awards when I was in the Navy. You know, what am I going to have left? A brick house?
Do you still have the house? Do you still own it?
The bank owes it because I haven't made any payments on it because my kids take all my money.
So do you have a house, Mr. Blom?
I answered the question, Judge. I would if I had the money. I don't have the money because my kids are taking the money. They're having my mail redirected to my son, and he doesn't give me a time of day. I asked Kathy to go to our bank, Fifth Third, downtown Gaylord, and ask for a credit card for me. So when something comes on the TV that I want to order, I could do that. Well, next thing I know, the state police is calling her and saying that she's, I don't know, absconding with my millions. No, no, they say I don't have a wife because at one time she filed for divorce, which is granted, and 2 days later she wanted to remarry, but they wouldn't let her because not enough time had elapsed. I don't know why she's not on here right now. She knows perfectly well about this meeting. Give me the.
Any other reasons, Mr. Blum, that you want to have the guardianship terminated?
Yeah, I can take care of myself.
Where are you going to live?
In the house that I have that I can pay for if I get the money that I'm supposed to get.
Do you know how much you owe the bank? Mr. Blom, do you know how much you owe the bank on the house?
Not specifically because I don't get any statements from the bank. They're all intercepted by my son.
All right. Anything else you want me to know, sir?
It's like being imprisoned. I got a 10 by 10 foot square room. Like I said, I get 3 meals, such as they are, and a bed. And that's it. If I was in my own home, I could have more freedom. I have 2 dogs. I have a woman that will be my wife if this whole shebang is dropped.
All right, let me hear from Ms. Greider next. Let me put you under oath. Ms. Greider, would you raise your hand so I can swear you in? You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, let's kind of go through these issues that your dad has one by one. The first one, he says that he doesn't have any money. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
The Medicaid application allows for him to have $60 extra per month after the Metalodge is paid. And I've asked my dad repeatedly to tell me what he might need, and he has not shared any needs with me. I have sent him packages on Father's Day, on his birthday, on Christmas, and in January I sent a pair of sweatpants because I felt like he just needed some replenishing of clothing items. We spent our own money to fund an account. My sister and brother and I all chipped in and sent money for him to have haircuts available to him. I'm happy to meet whatever other needs he has with those $60. Plus, my husband and I can be generous also and help him with things he might need, but he hasn't shared any needs with us.
What kind of contact do you have with him on a regular basis?
I did supply the court a list of things, a list of interactions I've had with my dad. It includes Zoom quarterly care meetings with Metalodge with my dad and staff, that my sister and I have been on every one of them. My brother and my husband have also joined as able. I've had phone calls with him 2 or 3 a month until recently when he just hangs up on me. I visited him in August. My sister visited him also in August. And my sister's husband visited him in person in October. So personal visits from my sister, myself, and my brother-in-law, Zoom meetings every quarter, sometimes more frequently if he's been in the hospital and he comes back, and regular phone calls, also sending packages.
When you say regular phone calls, is there somebody that would be able to call him weekly so he can have a little more frequent contact? I mean, you could spread that out between the family members, but would that be available?
Any of the family members are welcome to call him.
I'm just wondering if we could set something up where he could know that there's going to be a phone call on such and such a day at such and such a time.
Oh, like a regular schedule?
Absolutely. I think that would do a world of good for him so that he doesn't feel quite so isolated and quite so lonely. Is there a
Certainly.
way that you could set that up maybe rotate it between the family members so he gets to talk to everybody on a
I
regular
would be
basis?
happy to. I set up a Zoom call at Christmas so that he could speak to his grandchildren. They had a half-hour Zoom meeting.
That's a great idea. I can't think of anything that a grandpa loves better than talking with his grandkids, speaking from personal experience. So I think that would be a wonderful way to go there as well. And then if you could have some, even just once a month, a card, a letter, a whatever from somebody, maybe if you had the grandkids start doing that. I don't know how old they are, but if they could write something, send a photograph or do whatever, just so he knows that he's got people at home that are thinking about him and talking with him and engaging him. One of the worst things in the world when you're cooped up is feeling like the world doesn't know that you're there. So I think if we can get him some frequent contacts, whether that's over the phone or in writing, and maybe a little bit of both, I think that would be wonderful.
Yes, sir. Also, I'm in the process of moving him to North Carolina. He has a PASSR pending currently, so that he can be, my sister and I together visited a place that we felt was very acceptable, clean, modern, wide hallways, well lit, courtyards. It was very nice, and they do take Medicaid. So we are currently waiting for all the paperwork to get completed. And then I'll have to apply for Medicaid in North Carolina, and we'll move him down here where almost all his grandchildren, all his great-grandchildren, and 2 of his 3 children live, so that we can visit him regularly.
Mhm.
So
sounds like a
I
great
mentioned that to my father, and he said he didn't want to come. But in the meantime, he calls, and when I do talk to him on the phone, he says that he, doesn't like being there and he doesn't get to visit with folks. So I'm trying to resolve that problem for him and get him close to family. So that is
All right,
underway.
that sounds like a great idea. Any time frame available on that?
So the PASSR was applied for in January, and was it January or December, Betsy? It's been weeks, and I checked with her last week prior to this hearing to see where, and she said it was still pending. It's apparently a 6 to 8 week process.
Okay, well, at least you're started on that, and it sounds like a great idea to me. Let me take your dad's next issue with the phone and the charger. Tell me a little bit about that.
My dad has had an unreliable cell phone for years. In fact, I used to call Kathy's phone if I wanted to speak to my dad, because my dad didn't have it turned on, he didn't have it charged. Whatever the issue was, it was always a problem to try to get a hold of him. So when he got to Metalodge, his phone wouldn't charge, and I asked Metalodge staff to please use a different charger to try to get his phone to charge. And I believe they attempted to get his phone charged, and it would no longer take a charge. I have a new Google phone that I'd like for him to get set up on, but frankly, I was waiting for him to get to North Carolina so that I could help him manage it.
All right. If he were to receive regular phone calls, that may take care of, in the interim, that may take care of that issue for him a little bit better too. So I'll leave that in your discretion. The issue with his ex-wife visiting and having contact with him, what are your thoughts on that?
Your Honor, I believe Catherine to be manipulative, dishonest, and I don't trust her. My sister and brother feel the same. There's been multiple interactions where she's lied to medical staff, to law enforcement. She always called my husband and I to complain about my dad before the divorce. When she called to tell me she was divorcing him, it was because he was cruel to her. That is a direct quote. And then when she found she was unable to purchase a home in Florida because of their lack of payments and foreclosure, which ruined her credit as well as his, she came back. I don't think she's good for my dad, and I have asked our lawyer to talk to Metalodge's lawyer to not allow her access. I don't think I'm wrong on this. My brother, my sister, my husband, and my brother-in-law all concur that that is the wisest action to take regarding Catherine.
All right. Excuse me. Your dad made some allegations that his car had been sold, his lawnmower had been sold, he couldn't find his medals. What can you tell me about those things?
I don't know about his medals. His lawnmower was sold, and his car is still at my brother's house. We would like to sell that vehicle that he can no longer drive. He was ordered by a doctor not to drive anymore, and he has an expired license before the fall in April of 25 that started this whole thing. We would like to sell the vehicle to pay the back amount owed to Metalodge, which is only owed to Metalodge because Catherine helped herself to his funds twice, writing large cashier's checks to herself, which made us unable to pay Metalodge for the month of May. Once the vehicle is sold, that will pay the back amount owed to Metalodge and also any amount needed for transferring him to the North Carolina facility. All the rest of the money will stay in his account. We have no desire to spend his money or steal anything of his. That is a fabrication of Catherine's that she has shared with my father, and he believes her. It is false. We have nothing but his best interest at heart.
And you as a guardian are keeping track of his finances and in fact are required to, at some point at the end of the year, required to account to the
Yes.
court for all those things. Is that
In
correct?
June. Your Honor, everything that goes into his account is his 2 small annuities and his Social Security. And the only checks that have been written against that account have been to Metalodge. That's the
thank-
only accounting that has to be shown because that's all that's happened.
What is the status of his house?
The bank foreclosed on that house. There was an auction on October 9th, and now the Veterans Administration owns the home. I also supplied the court with Otsego County Court tax records to show this because the Veterans Administration had backed that particular loan, which I believe was a predatory loan. And they now own the house. So my father doesn't own the house, Catherine doesn't own the house, and I assume they will be taking over the house and reselling it to recoup the losses. I don't know that. It's up to
Do
them.
you know where his ex-wife Catherine is living now?
Oh, she's living in that house, I believe.
All right, but your understanding that she does not own the house, and is she going to be evicted from there, or don't you know?
I don't know. I started on. I got so many nasty text messages from her, Your Honor, that I finally blocked her. So I don't know. I don't have any communication with her anymore.
All
It
right,
was not good for me to continue to receive those messages.
I can understand that. Is there anything else that you want me to be aware of in deciding what to do with this case?
I can only tell you, sir, that my sister, my brother, my husband, and my brother-in-law are all of one mind. We are all cooperating, working together to provide the best care for our dad. We love him despite his crankiness, and we are loyal to taking care of him. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. Mr. Blom, do you have any questions for your daughter?
$60 a month. And it's funny, I've only had 2 haircuts since I've been here, and the account only has $40 in it. So whatever she thinks is happening isn't happening. I don't want to go to South or North Carolina. I don't.
Why would you not want to be with your kids and your grandkids?
In the Royal Oak or Oak Park or whatever area that I can visit or come and visit me. Whereas 2 of my kids live in North Carolina and one lives in Fenton, and he's never been to my house, ever. As far as my wife lying, that's fabricated. She doesn't lie. She's a Christian woman, and so frustrating talking about somebody that lies to you and said.
Mr. Blom, do you have any questions for your daughter, for Ms. Greider?
says that it's she just doesn't do it. Kathy's asked her over and over again, and nothing happens.
You're 81 and you want to go home. That's all.
Yeah, I'm 81 and I want to go home.
Who is that?
That was
It
Kathy.
just,
She's
where
on
is
the-
Kathy? Where is
she's
Kathy at?
She's at the house that we don't own.
So how am I hearing her?
Excuse me?
Your Honor, she called in and said she could not connect to the Zoom hearing, so I put her on speakerphone.
Take her off speakerphone because she can't be telling him what he's supposed to say.
Yep.
She can listen, but she can't tell him what to say.
Did you hear that, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, or was going to say, I'm 81 years old. I want to live with my ex-wife, to be reunited as husband and wife in the home that I've been in for the last over 30 years. And to go down to North Carolina or God knows where is the last thing that I want to do. I don't care who they set up or whatever. I don't want to do it. And I'm, I don't know how many years I've got left. It certainly isn't anywhere near in North Carolina. My son-in-law, Ian, has visited me once because his brother lives in Brighton, and it wasn't that far of a trip for him, apparently, out of the kindness of his heart. But his wife, Betsy, and Christine and Scott have never come and visited me here.
That's untrue.
Once.
Ms. Grader, just
10
let him talk.
11 months ago when I was at Munson. Since then, I've been here. They have never visited me. I just feel in my heart that this whole thing is going the wrong way for me. I want to go home. I don't want to be here. I don't know how long I've got left as far as years or lives or whatever. Certainly no one loves me as Kathy does, especially my own kids. They say they love me, but they don't show it in any way. I'm very disappointed in the whole procedure so far. I feel that it's going the wrong way as far as what I would like to have done.
Anything else you want to tell me, Mr. Blom?
Nothing I can think of right now.
All right, thank you. Mr. Blum, I am watching your children very carefully as we're having this hearing, and it appears to me that you're breaking their hearts. It appears to me that they are doing everything that they can in their power to make your life as good as possible, that they are, in fact, acting in your best interests, that they are doing what they can to get you into a place where you will feel loved. It is difficult, separated by the distance that you are from them, through nobody's fault, but that's just what life circumstances did. And they are working to bring you closer to them and to your grandchildren, and they are providing for you well now. I have previously sat through a hearing and made a determination that your ex-wife, Kathy, was not a party to the case, and that she did not have your best interests at heart, and that she was at least in part responsible for the circumstances under which you were in medical difficulties and were unable to take care of yourself. You were living in a home at times without heat, and had serious medical issues because of that, because of the falls and because you weren't able to get out of your chair on a regular basis. And she did nothing to assist you in that process. That's why you were brought into guardianship to begin with. I see nothing now that has changed. There were allegations before about her financial manipulation of you. I don't see any different happening now. And I'd find it to be inappropriate to take the guardianship off now. I've asked your kids to increase their contacts with you, and they've agreed to do that. And they've agreed to make sure that you have some funds with which you can make some purchases, to make sure you get your hair cut and maybe get a phone charged. And then hopefully you'll be down to North Carolina and with your kids, and they'll be able to see you on a regular basis, in person, unlike what they can do now. It does appear to me that they are having more contacts with you than you currently recall. And that's unfortunate that you don't recall them, but it does appear to me that they are having more contacts, and you're simply not understanding it or not realizing it, which is, again, one of the reasons why you're in the home and the facility that you're in now, because you don't always understand what's happening in reality. And that's unfortunate, but it is a reality here that I have to deal with. So
Can
for
I
all of those
respond to
reasons,
some of
I'm
these
going to deny.
allegations?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I said, can I respond to some of these allegations?
I gave you a good opportunity to already do that, sir.
All right, but then you brought up some more. You say
What
that
else
my
would you like to
kids,
say, sir? What else would you like to say, sir?
my kids do not respect me or would take care of me the way Kathy would. As far as my wife, should Kathy have to rent a car to come and visit me when my son has a car, my car, sitting in his driveway? What's the purpose of that setup? He sold my lawn tractor. Why? You know, somebody still has to cut the lawn. Right now, I've got a very nice neighbor who shovels her walk. Kathy does not lie, and Christina's lying, saying that she does lie. The whole thing is being manipulated, I think. And as far as me staying here, or going to North Carolina, I would just as soon kill myself than go to North Carolina or eventually stay here. This whole thing's a farce.
Mr. Blom, those kind of statements don't help your case.
Well, that's too bad. That's how I feel, okay? As far as me remembering that I've been visited, that's a lot of baloney. I don't get phone calls. I don't get visits. Christine makes this up to make it sound better, but it's not true.
Mr. Blom, Mr. Blom, let me ask you a question. Why would your kids lie to you?
Serves their purpose, doesn't serve mine. They want
What purpose is that? What purpose is served by them lying to you?
I have no idea.
That might be a place to start thinking about it then.
You know,
if they have no reason to lie to you, maybe they aren't lying to you, and maybe you aren't seeing what they are seeing. I find it incredibly difficult to believe that all of your kids, not just one of them, but all of your kids would get together and try to lie and then say, but we want to bring you closer to us so that you can see your kids and your grandkids and your great grandkids. That makes absolutely no sense to me at all. So I have to believe that they are trying their best to do what they think is best for you. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with everything, but it does make me think that you aren't thinking clearly when you don't have a reason for them to be lying and they're trying to do things that will help you.
how about cash flow?
We already talked about that. There's a limitation because of Medicaid about that. And she said that she's going to try to get you some more funds.
What are you doing?
That doesn't sound like she's trying to keep it away from you. And she's certainly not benefiting personally from all of this.
I don't know that she is or isn't.
Why would you suspect that she's trying to take money away from you?
Because I only
What has she done? What has she done to make you think that?
because I've been here 10 months and I only have $60, or 2 weeks ago, I had $60 in my so-called account, and it was only for haircuts. Since then, I've had a haircut for $20, so I assume it's only $40. The rest
Who
of the
told
money,
you it was only? Who told you it was only for haircuts?
my son. There's a stipulation on my so-called savings account that I can only use it for haircuts.
I don't know that.
Well, I can't help what you don't know or do know. All I can tell you is what I found out.
All right. Anything else, Mr. Blom?
Yeah, I'm 81 years old. I want to live in my home. I have 2 dogs. I have a wife, or a woman that will be my wife again, who loves me, will take care of me. And whatever Christine has just said about her is a total fabrication.
Thank you, Mr. Blom.
Yeah,
I wish there was another way to say this, but I believe that you are mistaken. And because I believe that you are mistaken, I find that your children have done the things that in your best interest, and it would not be in your best interest right now, given your physical health and your mistaken mental health attitude. I don't believe it would be appropriate to remove the guardianship from you, and I deny your request. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you. That's all for today. This is a petition for guardianship involving a petition by Mr. Perry from Adult Protective Services involving Carol. Mr. Perry, if you could give me a quick rundown of the basis for the reason that you're asking for the petition.
Sure, Your Honor. I was assigned an investigation on December 17th. I met with Carol the next day, and the concerns were primarily Carol was experiencing some memory deficits, visual hallucinations, and also concerned about the home environment. So in meeting with Carol, that day, she was actively trying to get her license restored. She wasn't aware her license had been suspended. She also made some concerning comments that she had seen her cat, which had been deceased. Told me that the cat wasn't as friendly. So there were just some general concerns about her safety. So after that, we initiated APS contracted services because she wasn't able to travel for shopping. Then after, on January 5th is when our first wandering incident reported under my investigation, where she entered her neighbor's home without permission, and law enforcement was called and they had to bring her back home. Due to that concern, I visited her that same day and went over those concerns with her. She wasn't able to, Sarah, why don't you just sit? She wasn't able to recall entering the home. So based on that, I felt there was a need for an evaluation for an alternate decision maker. And that's when we enlisted Dr. Harvey, and he conducted his assessment on January 13th, and he made recommendations based on that evaluation for the need of a guardian, including finances and mental health services if needed. So that's what my petition is based off of. After doing so, Carol had another wandering incident to her other neighbor's home, also seeking information on her deceased sister, Beverly, having again to be redirected home. And then when questioned about that incident, wasn't able to fully recall going to his home and entering it. And also she has met with Carrie, Dr. Harvey, Mr. Manmoser, and then Ann, who also, it's based on my conversations with them, it's a consistent pattern, and I believe all of them can corroborate.
Yeah, but I haven't done that for a long time.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Perry. Mr. Van Moser, I've read your report. Is there anything else that you want to add to that?
Your Honor, I just don't believe that Carol understands how vulnerable she is. These wandering incidents, she minimizes the danger, telling me that her neighbors are afraid of her. I don't think she understands that her neighbors are afraid for her. They don't want to come out one day and find her in the driveway or something. having fallen. Another good example would be the financial matters. Her phone rang 15 times an hour at least while I was there. And all of them are scammers trying to get information. And when I asked her about it, she said, I understand they're all scammers and I never share anything with them. But then she went on to say, but sometimes I give them some information to make sure that they're not legitimate callers. I don't think she understands how really vulnerable she is.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Van Moser. Doctor, I'm going to take some testimony from you. I know you're probably busy, so I'll move as quickly as I can. If you'd raise your right hand, please. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead and put your hand down. Can you tell me your full name, doctor?
Eric R. Harvey, Harvey.
And doctor, what are your qualifications to give testimony in this case? What's your
I'm
background?
a fully licensed psychologist. Actually, I was certified under the psychologist certification law before we had a licensing law. I've been in practice for 54 years and have seen several thousand people for guardianships.
All right, I will qualify you as an expert based on that long history. I understand that you've had an opportunity to do a psychological evaluation on Carol Corpella. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor. I saw her on the 13th of January of this year.
In general, as to her mental status, what can you tell me about what information you obtained and what she told you, and then what your ultimate diagnosis was?
Yes, Your Honor. I took a history. I did a mental status evaluation. I did some psychological testing with her. She actually has a pretty unusual presentation for dementia in that she retains a lot of what we call crystallized intelligence, the information that we carry around with us. So in some ways, she tests out in the average range, but she has very significant long-term memory difficulties. She was easily confused. She was somewhat delusional at the time that I saw her. As Mr. Perry had noted, her cat has been passed for a long time, and she doesn't actually understand that all of the time. So, and her short-term memory was having difficulties. She's awfully close to being a hoarder. There were probably hundreds of teddy bears and nutcrackers in her home, which from a safety point of view, I saw as providing some trip and fall hazards. My bigger concern was that, as previously mentioned, the phone rang almost continually. I asked her permission if I could answer her phone for her a few times, and they were all clearly scam operators. And while I was there, she had been giving out some personal information to these people. I gave her a diagnosis of neurocognitive disorder. Although she's currently functioning with average verbal abilities based on her intellectual history and occupation and so forth, I'm sure she would have tested much higher at a younger age. And I also gave her a hoarding disorder diagnosis. I recommended both a guardian and a conservator under the EPIC statute. She has no ability to set boundaries on others in relation to her finances. She also wasn't able to give adequate responses to my informed consent questions, which led me to believe that she wouldn't be able to provide informed consent for medical or mental health. And so I checked all the boxes with the exception of supportive services on the P6630.
All right. And I assume from your testimony then that you believe that she is impaired and lacks sufficient understanding or capacity to make or communicate informed decisions and is an incapacitated individual as a result?
I do, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Perry asked for both financial protection and mental health protection. Do you agree with that request?
I do, Your Honor.
And I know that you've indicated you think both a guardian and a conservator under EPIC. There's been a recent statutory change under that, which gives the guardian much more financial authority over that, and it includes tangible property, bank accounts, pensions, social security benefits, and other governmental benefits. And the guardian would have the authority to receive all financial information and regarding the assets. Do you believe that that would be sufficient for general purposes?
I know that she has a very complex financial picture based on the fact that when her father passed and when her sister passed, she inherited all of that. So I guess I don't know if it's adequate. Under ordinary circumstances, certainly, but she probably has a pretty complex picture.
All right, and I may end up asking Ms. Dancer what her abilities would be as a guardian, and I'll do that in just a minute once I'm done with the doctor. Doctor, is there any other information that you'd like me to have at this time?
Carol is one of the nicest people that you'll ever meet, and that's one of the reasons that she's on the phone so much is she doesn't want to hurt the feelings of the scammers, and so she wants to engage them in conversation so that they don't feel that they're being rejected, which I haven't really encountered very often, but it certainly works against her.
Yeah. People like that, though, restore my faith in humanity, so that's a good thing to have on occasion.
Yeah, it's way better than the alternative, isn't it, Your Honor?
It is. Thank you, Doctor. Carol, have you been able to hear what the doctor has said?
Yes, I did. I'm right here.
All right, thank you. Do you have any questions for the doctor?
I can't think of anything right now, except that,
All right. Do you have any questions for Mr. Mamoser? And you don't have to if you don't want to.
I can't think of any questions, except that I don't like being judged.
Well, I'm sorry for that.
I consider myself to be well able to be independent and make my own decisions, and I want to keep my freedom.
I
Being
can certainly
independent is
understand that.
very important to me. And I don't want anybody interfering with my finances. I worked in a bank for many years. I'm very good with finances.
Do you have any questions for Mr. Perry?
I can't think of anything right now, except that I don't want my freedom taken away from me. I've been an independent woman for many years.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to tell me personally?
Well, I'm just trying to say that I value my freedom and my independence. I have a home. I run this home myself. I feel very invaded that my privacy, my money, my financial situation is my business. I don't want anyone managing my finances. I don't want anyone managing my home. I do everything independently. I call for help when I need help. If I need an electrician, I call an electrician. I have a problem with my fireplace now. I'm calling the fireplace person. I want to make it clear that I want to remain independent and free. I will handle my own finances. I'm well able to do that.
Okay. The people that I've talked today have told me that there are hundreds of people calling you on the phone trying to scam you all of the time. Is that true?
I don't know that there's hundreds, but you just heard my phone.
Over the course of a week.
What I mostly do is I cut them off. What else can I do? I just press my phone and end the phone conversation. I do not engage them in conversation. I cut them off right away.
Well, but two people have told me that that's not what happened when you were with them. Mr. Mamoser said that you gave them information, and the doctor said that you gave them information.
Well, maybe I misunderstood who I was talking to.
Well, that's my concern. If you misunderstand that you may give information, then the people will be able to steal all of your hard-earned money. I don't want that to happen.
No, it's not that extreme. I mean, my main problem is the noise of the phone. I pick up the phone and end the conversation. I don't engage in conversation usually.
Okay.
There may be something that I feel that maybe I should listen to it on the information part. There might be something there that I think, oh, maybe this isn't a scam. There goes my phone. And it has a name I don't know. So when there's a name I don't know and a phone number I don't know, I turn it off.
Good. Tell me about these 2 times that you went over to your neighbors' houses and tried to get in.
That was quite some time ago when I was having some difficulties. I've been through a lot, losing my parents and losing my sister, and things were very hard for me. And I made some mistakes. And I mean, my gosh, everybody makes a few mistakes. I went over to Doug and Linda's house because I trust them. They've been wonderful neighbors, and I must have had some concern. I can't remember, that was so long ago, but I must have had something I needed to talk to them about. I don't go running to my neighbors very often at all.
Mr. Memoser has said, though, that you went over there and they were worried about you. Why would they be worried about you?
I don't know. I mean, they're very caring people. And maybe they were worried about me going outside when it was cold, or I don't know. But I don't do that. I have not done anything like that for a long time, for months. I have a note on my door even. I wrote a note to myself, do not go to neighbor's house.
Sounds like you did it twice, though, and basically scared your neighbors into worrying about you. You understand how that makes them feel?
Yes, and I don't go to my neighbors. I have not gone to my neighbors for months and months. Now I stay away from them because, I mean, they're nice people, but I don't go over there because somebody will say, oh, she's going to her neighbor's house.
Well, it's not about
I stay at
not
home.
going to, well, it's not about not going to your neighbor's house. It's going there and going into their house.
Yes, I
can't go into
made
somebody
a
else's
couple of
house.
mistakes. That's not something I do regularly.
I didn't say that you did.
Well, I'm just trying to make it clear that I have not gone to my neighbor's house repeatedly. I once or twice went to my neighbor's house, and that was quite some time ago. And now I deliberately do not go to my neighbor's house.
Carrie again.
They're friendly people, but I don't go because somebody might report me to the police. I stay home. I stay in my own yard. I might take a walk around the neighborhood.
Good. Let me ask you this, Carol. If there was somebody that could help make sure that you didn't lose your money or your finances, would that be a good thing?
No, that would be very upsetting to me. That would be very upsetting because I like to be independent. I worked in a bank for many years. I'm very good with my finances. Even with the problems that I've been having, I handle my finances very well.
I'm not saying that you don't, but on occasion, everybody needs help, right? You saw that with your mom and your dad as they got older, they needed some help, right?
Yes, but they always handle their own finances.
Well,
very well.
Everybody's a little bit different. Everybody needs help in a little bit different areas. So you're having people that are calling you. Let me talk for just a second.
I want to make it clear that I am well able to handle my finances, and I would be very upset if I had somebody coming and helping me handle my finances. It's an invasion of my privacy. And it's
How would
very
you feel-
insulting. It's
Carol, how would you-
insulting for me to have somebody come and deal with my finances. I'm not a child.
Nobody's
You're
treating you
making
like
me
a
angry.
child. Okay.
You're making me angry.
Well, I'm not trying to make you angry. I'm trying to understand what the concern is about you. And the concern seems to be that they're worried that you may do something that you don't remember, or you may have a difficulty, as you put it, at the wrong time, and somebody may be able to take advantage of you. Or you may get confused again, like you did when you went to your neighbor's house, or when you believe that your cat was still alive, and you may end up going places that you shouldn't go at a time that you shouldn't go and get hurt. Can you understand that?
I don't understand why I am being targeted and why I can't have my freedom. My freedom means a great deal to me. I've been independent for many years. I handle my own money, and I'm going to continue handling my own money. And I'm certainly not going to my neighbor's house ever again.
All right. Is there anything else that you want me to know, Carol?
Well, I want you to know that it's very frightening to me. It's very frightening to me that I have people threatening me, threatening to take my freedom away.
Okay.
I
Carol?
haven't done anything so bad that I should have my freedom taken away from me. And I intend to handle my own finances. I worked in a bank. I'm very good at my finances, and I do not want anyone interfering with my private business.
Carol, can you see Joshua standing or sitting next to you or near you?
Yes?
Does he look like he's threatening you?
No, but if he wanted to take over my finances, I would find that threatening.
Okay, Carol, does he appear to be threatening you?
Not now, no. He's a very
right.
nice person.
You met Mr. Mamoser, right?
I think I must have met him, but I can't keep track of all
Gentleman
these people.
Gentleman with a white beard and mustache and glasses.
Oh, yes,
Came over.
yes,
Did he appear to be a nice man?
yes.
Did he in any way threaten you?
If he wanted to handle my finances, I would find that very strange.
Carol, did he in any way threaten you?
He did not threaten me, but I'm saying that if someone would be
Carol,
wanting to handle
slow
my
down.
finances, that would be very threatening. I like to
Carol?
be independent.
Did you talk with Dr. Harvey?
Yes, I did quite some time ago.
Did he threaten you?
No,
So nobody involved in this whole process is trying to threaten you. They're
they're
all
not
concerned
trying to
about you.
threaten me. They're trying to help me. However,
Yes.
I want to be
Yes, they are.
independent. If people will help me to be independent, that would be help.
Then why don't we try that? Why don't we try to help you be as independent as you are capable of being?
Yes, thank you.
Does-
I would like that.
Does that sound like a good idea?
Yes, that's what I'm
All right.
trying to do, is be independent.
Then I want to help you do that too, but I want to have people around you that can help you do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, but you have to understand that my finances is a private matter. With everybody, they like to handle their own finances. With
I
people, they don't go
understand
around
that.
telling people what their finances are.
I understand that, but sometimes we need help, and I want to make sure that you have it when you need it. Okay? All right. Let me talk.
If I
let me
needed
talk.
help, I would like to ask for it. I would like to have that I would give the permission for the help. If I have, quote, help imposed upon me, that does not help me when I am trying to be independent. I do not want help forced upon me. I want to have my freedom.
Sometimes freedom comes at a very stiff cost, and I'm trying to help you not incur that cost. All right, Ms. Danzer,
threatening.
to guardianship and conservatorship needs, are you able, do you believe, to deal with the financial side of this case?
I am willing and able.
Yes.
All right. I think what I'm going to try to do, unless you tell me otherwise, I think what I'm trying to do is use the guardianship side of things only, just because it's simpler. And if you run into some financial conditions, let us know and we'll do a conservatorship petition at that point. You see any need to do otherwise?
Just as long as I still have that authority to do that part of it, because I've already kind of dived into that and I am well aware of what is going on. And I see no issue so far with that. I just need my guardianship paper so I can turn that into the right, correct people so I can continue doing what I was doing.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. All right. I've heard from Mr. Perry, Mr. Mamos, Dr. Harvey, and I've heard from Carol Carpella, the subject of the guardianship petition. I do find that there is clear and convincing evidence based on Dr. Harvey's evaluation that she has a mental deficiency and is impaired and is an incapacitated individual, not understanding or having capacity to communicate informed decisions. I do find that there is clear and convincing evidence that guardianship is necessary based on the testimony that's been given today, the doctor's report, and Mr. Mamos's report as well. I find that she is partially without the capacity to care for herself. I would like her to make as many decisions on her own as possible. I would like to have her to be as independent as possible. But given the circumstances, I do think that there is some need, and that would include financial protection as well. Therefore, the court is granting the petition for guardianship, appointing Carrie Danzer as the guardian. This is a full guardianship with all authority and responsibilities granted and imposed by law, and that will include under MCL 753:14. The guardian will have the authority over the ward's money and tangible property, including but not limited to bank accounts, pensions, Social Security benefits, and other governmental benefits. The guardian will have the authority to receive all financial information regarding the ward's assets and to open and close accounts. I would ask Ms. Danzer to be attuned to Ms. Carpella's wishes and to follow them as much as possible under reason and good common sense based on the circumstances, to be aware of her desire to be independent and to give her as much latitude as is reasonable and is appropriate under the circumstances so that she is able to live her life as independent as she possibly can, but keeping in mind the need for the guardianship. All right, that will be the order of the court. We'll send those out to everybody. Thank you all very much for your assistance. I appreciate your time.
Welcome, Your Honor.
Thank you.
This is a petition for guardianship filed by, I believe, David. David, let me take some testimony from you, if you would. You raise your right hand, sir. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead and put your hand down. David, could you tell me the circumstances under which you believe that a guardianship would be appropriate?
The guardianship was first put, I'm sorry.
I apologize. Go ahead.
The guardianship was first installed at the hospital due to a medical, he had to have a surgery done on his throat, and he was of incapacitation to where he couldn't do it himself. So the hospital required a guardianship to move forward with the procedure. And that's what we did. And the reason for the hospital visit was just because of the different falls and different things that he has been experiencing over the past couple years. There seemed to be a decline, or the more frequent of the visits, the later and closer we are to present day. it's wonderful that we got him into August House where he's at now, and he seems to be doing a lot better. Maybe not happy with all the current living situations and different rules that go on there, but as far as his mental and his health has gone, he is a lot better than he was a month ago when he was first moved into August House from a Metal Lodge facility.
Do you believe that a guardianship continues to be necessary for him?
I would like to say no, but his past behavioral patterns suggest otherwise. I know drinking is kind of a big thing for him. And sometimes when you get that way, you don't always make the best choices for yourself, especially when it comes down to just basic needs as far as like taking medications properly, eating correctly. And one of the biggest things that goes along with that is the uncontrolled diabetes that is even still being worked on through the care of August House. It's gotten better, but it's still a ongoing battle, let's say.
And does that boil down to his choice to continue drinking, even though he's been hospitalized a number of times for falls and breaking his ribs in his hand and those kinds
Having
of
his
things?
foot amputated, and yes, sir, yeah, a lot of it can stem from that. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but that coupled with the poor eating while you're drinking, everything kind of just revolves around that, and it just kind of how like that seems to be a center focus point.
If left to his own devices, would your dad be able to take care of himself, or would he continue to be hospitalized and have to go through these medical issues repeatedly?
I have no evidence to suggest that wouldn't happen, right? Like in the past, like you just watch it, he'll get out of the hospital, he'll be fine, he'll be clear-headed, but then within a couple days, 2 weeks, like you're back in the hospital for something. Fell, sugar gets low, picked them up off the floor. It just, the combination of the diabetes with the alcohol, with the sugar, the not monitoring, the not eating, all kind of goes all hand in hand. I'm not saying he gets drunk and falls down and like that's the whole reason. There's other factors that go into that. Because he doesn't always fall like when he's intoxicated, right? It could be the morning after, it could be from a heavy night before, or just whatever. I mean, I wish I had the exact answer, but that's what it seems. When you check your sugar and you drop low, I found him at an 11, I found him at 30, found him at 50. I've also witnessed it where the machine doesn't even register and he's 600. So there's a big, and trying to keep that steady line just so he can be healthy. And, it's great to see his skin's all clearing up now. He's mentally there more. It's nice to see.
All right. Are you aware, I assume that you understand that he has been, there's been a hospitalization fairly recently where he was evaluated and that the doctor has indicated that he appears to be in need of someone to watch over him, and this is going to be a progressive failing, and some of that is because of his continuing to be under the influence and a cognitive impairment working together. Do you understand all that?
Pretty much, yes.
All right. Do you agree with the doctor's diagnosis of that?
Especially at the time when it was going down, I 100% agree with it. Now, when he gets a little more clear-headed, you're like, oh, maybe he can do it. But there's no evidence to show that if left to his own device, that trend isn't going to continue. So even though it's hard to say, unfortunately, yeah, man, that's probably how it's going to go.
But the proof is in the pudding many times, right?
Sure. Yep.
All right. Mr. Mamiser, I have reviewed your report. Is there anything that you want to add to that?
All I can say, Your Honor, is that when I met with Mr. Dipsinski, he pretty much told me that if he was left to his own devices, he hated to say it, but he would keep on drinking. And if that happens, he's going to continue falling. He's going to be unable to control his diabetes, and I think he's in danger of death.
Hopefully that'll make somebody sit up and take notice and understand that this is serious. All right, thank you, Mr. Mamoser. Mr. Dipzinski,
Yes.
what would you like me to do here today? The request is that we continue this guardianship and give your son, David, the ability to kind of make some choices in your life if you're not making good ones. Is that what you want me to do or not?
Yes, I do.
All right. Have you recognized that some of the choices that you've been making are not good ones?
I believe there are times in my life that I know sometimes my sugar dropped too low, and I just lost consciousness. I'm not going to argue with you there. David's a very good kid. I love him, and I think he'll make the right decisions for me. And I'd appreciate it if you made him my guardian.
All right, that sounds like a great idea to do. I'd like you to keep working on the alcohol issue that you may have, because I think it makes the sugar issue worse, and it doesn't let you make good decisions, especially when you have trouble with the sugar issue. That automatically hurts your brain. It doesn't allow your brain to work the way that it should. And when you add alcohol, which also doesn't let your brain work the way that it should, that's kind of a recipe for disaster. So I'd like you as much as possible to take out the alcohol stuff so that we can work with you on the sugar issue and kind of isolate that and limit that as much as humanly possible. Does that make sense?
Yep, that's why I'm here.
All right.
That's why I'm in August house.
I agree with you. I think your son David is going to do a great job as a guardian for you, and I want you to communicate as much as humanly possible with him and assume that he is trying to do everything for your benefit and for your goodness. And so let's start with that.
Time.
Good. I'm very pleased to hear that. Not every family can say that, so I'm glad that you have one that does that. So
I love my kid. So
great, and I think they love you, and so this should work very well.
Yep.
All right. I believe that there is clear and convincing evidence that due to chronic intoxication, physical illness and disability, and maybe some potential mental issues, that Daniel Dipzinski is impaired to the extent of lacking sufficient understanding or capacity to make or communicate informed decisions on occasion, and is an incapacitated individual. I believe that this is partially without capacity to care for himself, especially during sugar episodes and when coupled with alcohol issues. And we will include financial protection in this as well. Because of all that, the court will appoint David Dipzinski as the appointed guardian. It will give full guardianship authority and ask that he work with his father. That authority will include financial issues, including bank accounts, pensions, Social Security, and other government benefits, and access to all financial information. I will sign that order today. And I will also send out letters of guardianship. David, do you have any questions about anything from today's proceedings?
Not really.
Daniel, do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
Nope, I think we did a good job, and thank you, Your Honor.
All right, well, I appreciate that. Continue to work well. I wish you the best. I hope things go well for you at August House and with your family. And as always, Mr. Mamoser, thank you very much for your assistance today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, that's all for today.